Oh yeah, and this guy too.
Meltdown, the fucking time god up in this bitch. You wanna get in fucking King of the Dodgy?
Yeah! Time!
Just don't say time.
Yeah, just don't cut
We got a time limit, but just don't say time.
You heard it? You heard that?
Don't say time.
What is good? It is Meltdown, the fucking time god. We're just going to get right into it. I'm right here with my guy, Wackoe. We're right here in a beautiful disclosed location. I keep saying that. That's my thing now, saying disclosed location. I don't even know if that's the right word. Is disclosed the right word? Disclosed,
yeah,
right?
So. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Okay. It kind of sounds weird. It just sounds like that's not the right word, you know? So we're right here in a crazy location. I don't even know what... I forgot what area I'm in. So we're right here with Wackoe. Wackoe Films, whatever, however you know him from, we're going to get into all this. So you might have known him from the B-side. You might have known him from the Zoo Radio. You might have known him from filming Psycho Realm video or Sick Jackin' videos. And just, you might have known him from all types of stuff. So we're going to get into it today. This is one of my guys I've known for a while who's been like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. You know, it was actually, when you would go to the B-side, you would actually really be behind the curtain like the Wizard of Oz, and you'd be making shit happen, dude. I would always go and just, that would be my thing. I would go and say what up to everybody, and then I would walk back there and say what up to you and be blazing it, and you're just in there in this crazy like those stools that spiral, and I think you or some kind of chair. I would usually be blown out of my skull. You'd be sitting there in a chair. It looked crazy. It looked like a war room of just
in the sense
technology.
It was, man. Yeah, because I had like two screens, then I had the full mixing board right there, and then obviously just all this stuff in front of me, and then maintaining the show, and that was pretty much it right there, man.
So if you want, do you want to explain where we're at yet, or where do you want to jump in at? Because I want you, like, you're the guest, so I want you to jump in wherever you feel. So because this is you were kind of this is a cool little spot you have here.
Yeah, no, man. Right now we're in Rancho Cucamonga, in my office. I'm based out over here. It's where my office is at, but. Of course, I'm all over the place. I travel everywhere.
Right.
So, but it's really nice over here. It's just really chill and stuff like that. And this is my domain. It has all my personality around here. And I also like have a wall here that I use for Wackoe Adventures and other interviews that I've been doing as well too.
Wackoe Adventures, plug that. Okay, so Wackoe Adventures, like, let me explain the setting real quick. It's like a wooden. It looks like a wooden wall, and it has like cool posters like the new Star Wars. It has very inspirational, what you learn today can be the future, state your case, because no one can see this. This is not recorded. So I'm trying to paint a picture. So there's pictures, and then you got the Joker right there. Then right here, you'll see the picture. If you go to my Instagram, Meltdown, you'll see the picture. That's exactly where we're at. So instead of me explaining it, you know exactly where we're at. There's a lot of Star Wars shit around. So it has a lot of personality here, and I've known Wackoe, and when I seen his domain, like what was at the B-side, that's where I seen your workspace. It kind of feels like this is how I would expect it, and I would love to see it. There's dope artwork around. So Wackoe Adventures, how did that start, and like where can they find that?
Well, they can catch all that on my YouTube, as well as like everything else on my YouTube channel, which is Wackoe Films, or you just type in Wackoe. It's really easy to find.
Wackoe Films.
Yeah, and basically with Wackoe's Adventure, I started actually in the beginning of the year, and
this year?
Yeah, this year. So I haven't been lagging on a couple episodes because this last couple of months has been like massively hectic, which is cool.
It's hard, right, to stay on that schedule.
So yeah, it's difficult to be consistent. That's the key thing for when it comes to whether it's podcasting, whether it's like being a quote unquote YouTuber, vloggers. You have to be consistent, and to be able to do that, you just got to dedicate yourself and stick with that. You know what I mean? And so I'm balancing that, and then I'm doing all this other crazy stuff. But
so it's is it like a podcast? Is it just on YouTube, or do you?
It's just on YouTube, and basically it's just like it's me, and then I'm just saying hi to everybody, and I just talk about what I've done over the week, or what you know, things I've done in the past and stuff. And it's really cool. It's really cool because I'll go like behind the scenes of like a shoot I did, and we'll talk about like, oh, so this is what I did. This is how I did for lighting. This was the concept. This and that. So it kind of gives you like an insight of like all the different people I meet,
right?
My life experience, because I document everything that I do, like everything, and I just like to be able to go ahead and share it. And I feel as though is that, like how you were just kind of saying earlier, it's just like I meet a lot of very interesting people in all aspects of like, different types of outside of hip hop. Because I mean, we've met through hip hop, you know,
right?
And I know people like from the business world to like the music industry to the film industry, and I meet the most random, interesting people. So I figured this is something really cool that people can just follow along and just kind of see who I meet and what I do. Because at times it's kind of difficult, or there's not enough time to explain what I do,
right?
And you know,
so you do it in different segments, different episodes.
Exactly. I'd be like, yo, check out my YouTube channel, man. You check out all the shit I do. So that's pretty much what Wackoe Adventures is, and you know, it's been a lot of fun doing that stuff. And then sometimes too, I'll do I just do some like random stuff. Like one, I did Wackoe's Volt, the Volt, V-O-L-T, like
okay, like a
bank,
electricity volt.
No, I'm sorry, bank volt.
Like bank volt.
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry. And I would go to old recaps or even footage that I never had a chance to edit, like Snow the Product. I filmed the Snow the Product concert, so I went and I edited a highlight video, and I go, this was Snow the Product.
She's beautiful.
Oh yeah, she's a very.
Oh my God,
she is.
Yeah.
She is. So
she should be blowing up, man.
She should be. I'm surprised
why
that she's not.
Why do you feel that? Why do you feel like there isn't really too many Mexicans or Latinos, or not even just like, why do you think there's not that many that are in the game, or maybe they're not?
I think for sure, I'm going to of course, this is my opinion, you know, because we live in a world where everybody feels though everyone's opinion is more valid than others.
Right.
But
that's what Facebook did.
Oh my God.
Blame Facebook.
Dude.
Fuck
yeah.
Facebook.
It's just hilarious though, man. But I think I really don't know, because she's well networked. She's been hustling. She's been connected as far as like her being a Latina and a female as well too.
Well, I guess she is killing it, but
she
it's
is,
like, just because she isn't
not
on the rate.
Right. She is killing it. She is doing her shit. Don't get me wrong. She is.
Yeah.
But maybe she's not being pushed out there like how certain other artists are that are doing. I mean,
or she's not doing what these other girls. She doesn't go out there and get all ratchety and trampy.
Because if you look at Nicki was just like the new fucking Little Kim, or you know what I'm saying. And then Cardi comes along and she kind of just fits the new profile. If you ever notice that someone always kind of took that spot, you know what I mean?
Like that ratchet, like not, I don't want to say ratchety, like that,
just very
like out there,
very very opinionated woman. Just, you know, fuck it, I'm just like one of the guys. Because I say the ratchety because sometimes they get like like Little Kim, like I don't even, not even in a disrespectful way. It's more just like more just like them being like, I guess it is a disrespectful word, right? I probably shouldn't call it that. I think they were being more provocative is what I would call it, and being more like, they're just
like Little Kim. Like Little Kim had bars. Like if you heard her on, when she was with Junior Mafia, the Junior Mafia album, there was a song on there where she even said something like peace to the gods and peace to the earth and this, and I was like, wait, what is she? She's talking on some like crazy knowledge stuff, and then the next song, and then right after that she dropped her album Hardcore, and all that went out the window. And well,
because you got to remember, apparently when she was really spitting prior, before, you know, going where she went, she was just she spit bars. That's what it was. But then they were saying like, nah, man, you need to
Biggie would write.
You need to ratchet that shit up.
Did you hear the what are those the songs that were like reference songs that Biggie the songs that Biggie rapped, saying like he wrote Little Kim's lyrics talking all this crazy dirty shit like I'm a bad bitch and shit like that. You heard Biggie saying it over that beat, and it's just to hear that. Biggie spit the whole song and gave it to her. She studied it and went and spit it herself. But it was kind of crazy to hear that. But that's like old school shit. Like that was like in 90 something when they were doing that. That was evolved already.
The way the industry is then to where it is now is completely like on a whole different level.
So let's jump right into it. Let's okay, so we saw the Wackoe Adventure. So let's jump into Zoo Radio. Like how did that start?
Yeah, Zoo Radio's old school, man. So Zoo Radio basically started in my garage, and it was
what city?
At this time, I was over in the city of Fontana.
Cool. So you're not living there. So I was just like, wait, I know you're probably not living in the same place, right?
Oh no.
Okay,
no,
cool. So put the city out. Okay,
yeah,
Fontana.
This
Fontana.
is like, probably because I'm originally from LA, and then I came down over this way and stuff like that, and set some seeds out down this way. But so yeah, some partners of mine and stuff, like some friends that I kind of met in the club industry. Because prior before that, I mean, I used to do stuff for magazines. That's how I got like more once I started evolving with my photography. I used to like go to all these concerts. Man, I got photos from like Billy Idol at Warped Tour.
Damn, Billy Idol at the Warped Tour?
Yeah, I got photos of that.
Holy fuck.
One time I did an interview with Cedric Entertainer when
And you have all this.
Oh yeah, I got photos and stuff. They're like all archived. Like I have those actually on. If you see that blue book right there, those are all CDs of photos. And these go back to like maybe the year like 99.
Fuck, are the footage that you have like of say the interview with Cedric? Would you ever be able to post that, or is it?
I have to find it because that was in a magazine, and
so it was written.
Yeah, because
I
used
that was
to
old
write.
School.
Yeah.
I'm so used to being in this generation to see everything.
Yeah, this was a magazine. This magazine was called Skinny Magazine, and it was distributed from L.A., San Diego.
They were in like stores, right?
Yeah, they were.
I think I remember that.
Yeah,
Skinny.
so I actually met a guy. His name was Scooby. Shout out to Scooby because he was actually the guy that kind of opened the door for me. Because I've always been in photography, and I went to a lowrider show. And when I went to this lowrider show, I saw this booth, and it said like Skinny. It said magazine. I went up to it, and I grabbed the mag, and I go, "Oh, this is cool, whatever." And they on the front cover they had oh man, I can't remember who it was. It was like a rapper, like this local rapper type thing, because they were just barely getting involved. This was the first issue they had dropped.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh well, this is kind of cool. And I looked at it, and then they go, yeah, it's free, take it. I go, oh, all right. And then I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, that's dope. Like, I'm really into like hip hop and music and stuff, And I go, I would put on hip hop shows and stuff like that because I had put on hip hop shows prior before. And so he was like, oh, cool. He goes, what do you do? I go, not much, man. I like taking photos. And they go like, well, hey, we're looking for photographers. Do you want to come? We have a meeting next week. I said, all right, cool. I went. I was the only Mexican in there. Matter of fact, I was the only person that had color to my skin because it was all Wetos.
Wow.
Our office was in Upland. So I was there, and they were all kind of looking at me weird and stuff. And then
that goes back to the industry we were just talking. That's crazy.
Yeah, so they're looking at kind of weird and everything, and they had their little meeting, and Scooby's like, yeah, we got a couple new people here. This is so-and-so, and this is right here. This is Wackoe. And everyone just kind of looked at me like, what?
Like Wackoe?
Yeah, and then he's like, he's a photographer. He's going to help out photography. So my first assignment was to go to this skate event, a skate demo, and just take photos. And then I went and took photos, and then after that, I just kept going to all these different events. Then they started putting concerts together, and then I was taking pictures of all these different things, and then I started doing different interviews, because I started doing a lot of writing, and I just grew and just got more and more involved with that. And then the next thing you know, they wanted to gear towards more hip-hop because they were doing like articles with like, we did stuff with Deftones. I got drunk with like Slipknot. It was really cool. Like
the Deftones?
Yeah.
Wait, that just slipped out of my head. I was just like, wait, it just hit me like a punch over.
Yeah, I have
That's my
pictures too,
favorite.
man. I'll show you that
That's
stuff.
my favorite band, bro. Like anything that Chino Moreno does.
Man, was just like, just
Team Sleep, all that. I Amazoned it. That's my favorite.
I think what they brought to the game was just their style and everything was so fucking the shit, and it had that skate rawness to it too. You feel me?
And I remember hearing it on Shrooms. It was the best.
His voice was just fit perfect. That band, the elements of that band, everything was
so good.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
So yeah. Okay, the Deftones, and then you said Slipknot.
There's so many OTEP. It was a lot of rock bands, and at that time, Cottonmouth Kings were really big.
Yup.
So
Cottonmouth Kings.
Yeah, so it was just like, it was more geared towards this was like, you gotta understand the bro industry.
Right. Kind of
bro
like the
hose industry.
Right. Like the Insane Clown Posse.
Metal Militia was really popular and stuff, but what they wanted to do, they wanted to venture into hip hop. So they pulled me aside and they said, hey, we want to make you the hip hop editor. if you could start bringing some kind of hip-hop, maybe do local shit. And that's how I did, and I became the hip-hop editor. So then I started interviewing all different, Sly Boogie at that time, because he had dropped his,
Boogie,
popular
great
track.
album.
Yeah.
Judgment Day is a great album, bro. If you, I don't think you're gonna listen to this, but if you do, great fucking album, dude.
The Licks at that time, because they were still going, Exhibit. And then I reached out to my boy, Chang, which is
Chang, the guy who ran
Gorilla Union.
Gorilla Union.
So I reached out to Chang, and at that time, before the maybe Rock the Bells 2 or something, or 3, he was just easy to pick up and phone.
Because you were always up there.
Yeah.
I think I would always I don't. This was before what is it? This was way before fucking B-side and all that, right?
Right. This is way before B-side. Yeah. So like I hit up Chang and just be like, yo, man, like I'm the hip hop editor now for this thing. You know, how can we go ahead and like do something cool with Rock the Bells? Because Rock the Bells was such a perfect one. Because at this one, this was the second Rock the Bells, because Nas performed at it. So they got me connected, and then I got connected to Nas's peeps and everything, and they said, yeah, we'll give you 15 minutes. All we want is the front cover. And I'm like, come on, it's Nas. I went to my guys. I go, hey, I got Nas. And they're like, Nas? I go, yeah, Nas. Come on, you know Nas, right?
Shit.
And they're all like, wow, all right. And then, but the main owner, and this is where things kind of changed for me, and I kind of got really bitter, but I think it worked out great. And I was like, I got Nas for the front cover. All we have to do is maybe do like a page spread, maybe 2-page spread, and this is Nas, this is Rock the Bells, this is like the second one, and this is like the only like
people would have bought that shit.
Festival. Yeah, this is like perfect. No, we want to do CKY again on the front cover. I'm like, you're telling me you want to do hip hop, and I'm giving you probably one of the biggest artists in the forefront of this industry, and you're going to tell me no? I'm like, damn. I was like, all right, cool. I went ahead and still wrote an article thing and did all that, though. But after that, I was very kind of like, I was kind of butthurt on it. So little by little, I just kind of just started pulling it away. And then I just went ahead and said, hey, man, I'm not going to do this no more. I'm done. You know, like, you know, it's just, I feel as though you're not letting me help bring something to the table. So then I went ahead and bounced out. But they were all cool. But I was with them for like a good 4 or 5 years or something like that, just doing that and building a network.
Right. You didn't burn that bridge. You could have went and been like, man.
And then just working with them, I learned so much about the industry, and that's where I really got
connected
educated.
Too.
Right. So I got educated more of the back scene of stuff, because I was there when Jimmy was doing the bookings for shows and the concerts. I was there fucking helping set up the stages and stuff. And then there was a time where I grabbed the microphone in between, because I said, yo, like, crowd seems kind of dead. So I grabbed the mic and I just went up and I was like, yo, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing tonight? Make some noise. And everyone's like, what the fuck? And then I did a little thing, and then they're like, yo, that was you? You did that? And I go, yeah. And ever since then I started hosting all the shows. One of the big shows that I host was with Bad Religion. And it was dope. I was in front of like 20,000 people and stuff.
Damn.
And just like, it was cool. Bad Religion, Pepper. Damn, who else was on that bill? I gotta find it. It was dope. That was
Pepper
really
was
cool.
a good one. They were like they sounded like what is those guys?
You're talking about.
They sang that song. I take a pack of bull.
Don't you hate when you get a brain fart?
Slightly Stupid.
No, Slightly Stupid is now. They're Sublime.
But they were kind of like in the same, because I remember
Sublime. They were kind of like a Sublime feel, like that kind of whole.
Because I remember when I had fucking I think before Spotify, what was that shit called? Fucking I don't know, one of those Pandora. I had Pandora,
yeah.
And when I would listen to Sublime or something like that, or like Deftones, Pepper would be in there, and like
there was a show called Snowboard.com session that myself, my boy, set up, and we did it at this place over in San Bernardino. At that time, it was called Luna Gotham, and then they had the Gotham side, which is a club. The other side was called La Luna. And they used to do shows there, and then we did Snowboard.com session. It was like $20,000 of free giveaway shit. We gave away snowboard, snow gear.
Damn.
We gave away like skate gear. It was free blunts. We gave a bunch of shit. And we had Pepper perform, and this is before they became Pepper, like on that level. But they had a cool track that was already starting to build up. We only paid them $300.
Damn. Did you guys get flicks and everything?
Yeah, I have. I have all those photos on those CDs right there, dude. Yeah, man. So like. It was cool.
You should start uploading them to like
I've been wanting to do that.
Throwback Thursday.
I wanted
do it like that.
I wanted to change I'm right now changing my website, but I wanted to make a section called the archives, and then start just putting photos up and putting just cool things that people can just kind of see all this random
or like
shit
track your old shit down somewhere, screenshot, like
dude,
like stuff like that. Because I think like now we're in an age to where like Google will grab anything. It could be like like you could say, hey, I want to know like. If something just happens, I'll catch a couple words, I'll type it in Google, and I'll see something like a Facebook post and see the word in there, click it, and some way I'll be. The rabbit hole is so crazy.
It's the Google spiders, man.
Bro,
that's
like,
what they're called, dude.
That's how, like, if you think about it, that's how a lot of these guys are getting caught for murder and all that stuff, is because they're going in there taking pictures, and it's that, it just, everything just gets caught, like it's in this web and a string.
Hence why it's called the web, bro.
Wow. I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because I tell like my clients, like one of the business I was telling you, I deal with a lot. Like right now, one of my other main business called Monopoly Media, and I deal with a lot of people that are like own businesses, small and corporate. You know, and I explain to them how the internet really works, because now social media is a big thing. So I explain to them, I go, you understand, like Google has these spiders, and what they're doing is they're crawling and getting information. So when you're searching on Google or you're searching anywhere on any kind of platform, regardless of what it is, what's happening is that Google's getting that information and basically storing it. And then that's why you notice, like, say if you're looking for a house, right? Next thing you know, or you're looking for an engagement ring.
Right.
Next thing you know, on your timelines, you're seeing these engagement ring ads. It's because Google is getting information and saying, oh, you have an interest of this right now. And that's how they...
That's crazy you said that. I just bought this CD. You remember, I think it's DSR. Remember them? The Gangsta Lean? They did that song.
Oh, yeah.
I for some reason came across it, and I was like, I want this. So it was only $4. I bought it on fucking Amazon. I'm going through Facebook, and on the bottom it says, it was like it was an eBay ad, and then it said that CD right there, and it says, do you want to continue? And I slid over, and there was another old CD where I was like, wow, like Facebook is on it.
Yeah, they're getting that information, so hence why it's called the web, because everything is connected. So that's why it's important that with a lot of these artists, whether they're new and maybe we'll probably end up talking about this a little bit later, but even the older artists that, you know, have been in the game for a while and then they're kind of bickering about things, the problem is that they don't understand how the marketing's changed. It's not the same anymore. It's completely different.
Well, let's get into it, because you've been like, if you would know, because I've been around for seeing that from where CDs where it was tapes and it was into CDs. You had to wait by the radio to record things till now where it's like, you know, you can go back, you know,
just grab that.
You can just go back to any show, any live show. You can grab anything you want. You can just think of a song, write the name in, and it'll be a song you haven't heard since you were a little kid, and nostalgia will just take it over. So where do you think it, like, as far as the generation connection to like social media and things like that for the older artists, what do you think? Do you think it was just because they were stuck in their ways, or they just didn't know what to do?
I think it's kind of maybe a little bit of both, because there's certain artists that I've noticed that they're just kind of in their own kind of way, and they're not really making an attempt, because if you look at their social media, it's not really active the way it should be. You know, because they're just not really into it. That's just not what they're trying to do.
Right.
And they're not putting that effort. Ideally, that's really what it is. No one's really putting in that effort. No one's actually reaching out and trying to figure out what they're doing wrong. They're always saying what they know is right and what they do right. In life, it's about what you did wrong and how do you fix it. You know, the mistakes are what we learn from. And it's the same thing in the industry. It's like, okay, here's what's working good for me. Cool. I don't need to worry about that. This is what's not working for me. Why is this not working? Why is this not working? I have to figure out how to make this work so I can put this on this side of my list. You need to focus on the things that you're not doing and what you're doing wrong, so that way you can better yourself in the game. And in marketing, that's what is really important, man. It's okay if you don't understand how social media works. Well, it sounds like you need to go ahead and sit down with somebody so someone can go ahead and guide you and set yourself up, set up your platform, so that way you're able to go ahead and just log on yourself and do what you got to do. If not, then that's where you hire somebody for marketing, and then they do that shit for you. You know, a lot of these people think that you just put up a post and then that's it. No, man. Especially like a show, for instance, a show. Right now we're working with High Life.
High Life.
Yeah, the High Life.
Dispensary?
No, High Life Music Festival.
Yeah, with all the herb and all that.
Right, but it's not going to be like that. It's
Oh.
completely changed. So what it is an actual concert, and then what we're doing is they created in one of the domes over there at the Orange Pavilion in San Bernardino.
Oh,
it's going to be
yeah.
called the Champs session, right? The Champs one, and that's where all the weed stuff will be. But outside of that, it's a full stage, it's full concert and everything like that. It's going to be a splash zone. There's going to be a lowrider show. There's going to be a skate park section. We're going to have the lifestyle stage, and we're going to have some artists that are going on there. I can't really say right now as far as that. Right now, for main stage that are locked in are The Game, Rich the Kid, Burner.
Damn.
Don't you hate when you just can't remember everything?
Yeah. No, that list is crazy already, but it's
so
crazy.
So the High Life Festival, that's the whole thing. So what we've been doing is we've been getting recap videos and then putting on obviously on say Instagram, and then my buddy Steve, who's been doing a lot of the marketing aspect and doing the graphics on it, and the other end of it, they went ahead and put like $200 behind it. Just that video alone got like 20,000 views on the Instagram.
And those were actual accounts, because that's one thing they do is they have it can either be a small little filter that your image goes out to, or they can open it up wider to where it hits
complete
more
organic
people.
accounts, because it's how you're putting it out there, making sure you're using the proper keywords and making sure you're actually utilizing the tools that Instagram or Facebook gives you, so that way you're actually hitting the market that you want to hit.
Right.
You know,
that's crazy because I go to Champs. I'm a patient over there, and I actually, I'm really it's a good place. You know what I'm saying? I'm really you know what I'm saying? It's a nice place. It's in Riverside, right there on Ruby Doo.
Right.
So I mean, shit. Promo. Give him a shout out real quick. But okay, so. Did you want to expound more on that, or did you want to jump back into the zoo, and then because I actually want to ask you about the B side, but I wanted you to finish.
Oh yeah.
The whole zoo thing.
Like just even like how we're saying, like how people are just not kind of keeping up with times. Like what I've learned, and how people now, like older artists and stuff like that, like I feel it's them, because they're not really progressing, they're not really growing where they should go, they're not following what the trend is and stuff. They're too busy just sitting there saying it should be this way. And the reality is, for hip-hop, as an example, hip-hop's never been one way. Because if you really go into the history of hip-hop, like really, really go into history of hip-hop, not just what you think that history is, it's always evolved and it's always changed. You know what I mean? Before...
And always controversial.
Always controversial. As an example, let's talk about, like, bars, like rhymes.
Okay.
The reality, like, when it first was born... It was fucking way more simplistic than fucking...
I said the hip hop to hip.
It was like, kindergarten.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was simplistic because it wasn't about that. But then when you had...
Rakim.
Even before Rakim, because before he even came about, you had...
Was it the KRS and stuff like that?
No, even before KRS, bro.
We're going deep.
Yeah. We're talking about... White Lines.
Oh, Grandmaster Flash.
Oh yeah, all in.
That's not them. Was it Grandmaster Flash? No, White Lines.
It's dude, don't you hate when all day today I just been like that?
Let me Google it.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Sorry guys, if you guys are screaming at your fucking thing right now, go fuck yourself.
We apologize.
No,
we apologize.
I don't apologize. You can go fuck yourself.
Do you understand how much shit's in my brain and it's going right now?
Right. As you know how old that song is, and I know White Line, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. So I was right. Grandmaster Flash, Melly Mel and the Furious Five.
That track was the first track in quote unquote hip hop in that industry to actually talk about the reality of what was happening.
Oh.
Before that, you had
powder.
Sugar Hill Gang, everything. It was about having fun, partying, because hip-hop was, at that time, was about escaping the reality. Having fun. B-boys were born because people used to get together in the parks and everything, and basically they're just having fun. That was the battle. Because you have to remember, before hip-hop was born, the Bronx and shit were fucking a dead zone. There was like the massive fire that happened and burned shit. It was like
It was fucked up.
It was just like Armageddon there.
Damn.
It was crazy. And they had gangs and stuff like that. That was just crazy, dude. So a lot of the B-boys
like the
were
gangs
from
in New York. Remember that movie?
You know what the gangs were like?
What?
The gangs were no different other than the ones that are like, kind of really kind of weird. But it was like Warriors.
Oh, great example. Yeah.
That's how it was. Like,
just
except for the
going down
guys
fighting
painting
on
their
the-
faces.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
had that.
yeah,
So I'm not
yeah.
talking about that shit, though, but you saw how, like...
That's the imagery. That's like, they were trying to rep colors. That was all
That's what it was.
Gangbang
They had all their...
Warriors
their
was
crews
really
and shit.
putting some gangbang shit out there.
Those were the gangs, to be honest. If
Yeah.
you looked at the characters of Warriors themselves, the way they looked and dressed, that's how the gang members
And they were
dressed.
trying to kill it. Like, if
real shit.
you watch that movie, there's fools are getting stabbed and shit. Fools died in that movie. Like, they leave the scene real quick.
So
you don't
Warriors
see
is
people
a
die.
great example. Warriors was like before. That was hip hop. Before hip hop found its identity. You get what I'm saying?
And where do you think that it found its identity at? Do you think it was like during
as
the
the
NWA
story
times?
goes, as the story
before?
goes, it's you got the cool Herc, the whole thing in the park and stuff like that and everything.
The DJ
the
Kool
DJs,
Herc.
because you got to remember the DJs and the B-boys were everything.
Well, they were wasn't he one of the first DJs to
considered
scratch?
Right. He was the first to scratch in the sense. Of course, if you go back to the end, there's some really cool documentaries where they even talk about, like, they're saying, like, nah, it wasn't the Bronx, or nah, it's over here. Like, it's crazy, though, dude, because somebody wants to take the credit of this whole culture where it was built. You know what I mean? But as everyone says, and it's in the history book, it's like Kool Herc was, like, kind of that first top of the tree of this whole thing we call hip-hop.
He made noise with it.
Right, and that's a great thing, and that's what it's all about. It's who makes noise. The noise you make is what's it's gonna stand out and change. Eminem, the noise he made, and look what he did and how he changed hip hop.
Right.
NWA, look what they did. The noise they made, look how they changed hip hop. Look how they even brought the West Coast in like that, bro. You get what I'm saying? Somebody on your Facebook, you put up a post about I couldn't remember who it was, but they said that NWA was not hip hop.
Oh shit!
And then Irene Christine.
Yeah.
She responded like, "Well, what's hip hop to you?" And what he responded was he put a list. He put like, I remember it was like Immortal Technique, and he mentioned artists, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, so I had responded back, and I said, but you didn't identify what hip hop is. You just gave me a list of artists. I go, what's hip hop? And then he responded back was, hip hop's a culture. And I go, well, then NWA is hip hop because they're part of the culture. And then he says, no, they're rappers. I didn't want to get into it because obviously,
right,
he was not really gonna
he was stubborn
ways.
in his mind.
He was using the to each their
I
own.
remember the post. It was which made a bigger impact in hip hop. Was it Wu-Tang or was it NWA?
There you go.
Yeah,
that's the post.
That was the post.
And you could go back to that, but I didn't want to go any further like that, but that's the problem though. It's just like, a lot of people are not really understanding, what really hip hop is. It's not about a sound. It's not about how you really look. It's anything like that. It is a culture, but culture changes and a culture evolves.
And a culture is, if you look at the definition, it means it's a way of life. It's
right.
a lifestyle.
So that's no different than saying like this, this isn't even America then, because America's evolved and changed.
Right.
Where are you going to say what is a real America? You can't, because we're here and this country's built on a foundation of like, make your own. Like, you have more freedom to do something here. Of course, there's a lot of other shit that's going down, obviously, don't get me wrong.
Right.
However, though, if we were to go to other countries, we wouldn't have, like, that freedom to really do and be what we want. We have room to breathe and to make a change.
Right.
The problem is not many people are stepping up to do that. They'd rather go ahead and be the one to point fingers and make their opinion instead of stepping forward and doing that, because they're scared. Because they're scared in order to make a change, you got to sacrifice. And in this industry,
right,
especially in music, everything, to be what you want to be, you have to sacrifice. A lot of these artists that got where they're at, they sacrifice and they just put it all into whatever they're going to do. And if you don't want to sacrifice, you're not going to be able to accomplish and get where you want to get, man. So that's just the reality. So like with hip hop, dude, and how hip hop is and everything like that, I think people need to educate themselves and they need to go back to really see how it evolved and changed, and they'll trip out how like we kind of came back into a full circle, because we talk about how, Tekashi dresses, everyone dresses.
I was just gonna actually bring it up. Like, what do you feel about since hip hop is at this point? Like, what do you like? Are you into that type of? I mean,
there's some tracks I listen to shit and I like though. He just reminds me of another different type of like Onyx.
Like Onyx or he said his influence is DMX.
DMX, exactly. It's just
So you pay attention to everything.
Oh yeah, because it's my job.
Right. Okay.
I got to be able to see who's doing what because I want to be able to go ahead and my clients. They want to. Here's the thing.
They want to get those numbers.
They want to get they want to be able to when they come to me like I want a music video, and they're always using references of what's happening now. Oh, I like how this video is, and I'll be like, oh, cool. But I always go in and be like, what would be really cool? You could do this and this and this and this and this. But they're always giving references. Have you seen this video? Oh, have you seen this video? And it's like, oh yeah, I've seen that video because I have to be up to par with that shit. You can't talk shit unless you
right.
You can't talk shit about a movie unless you've seen the damn movie.
What do you think it is that's making? You think it's like the music that makes them go viral, the beats? Do you think it's them,
I've been
like
trying to figure that out because it's
with hair. Like
it's,
I'm using him as an example.
No, yeah,
because he's like the most popping right now, and he trolls. He goes fucking crazy,
but
dude.
that's marketing. Like, he knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah,
he's not doing anything different. As far as for the trolling and him say he's talking shit, the whole using the banging type stuff. It was interesting to me that how everyone says he's talking shit like one of these days fool's gonna get shot like that ain't what you're supposed to do. But when you hear those same people talk about man hip hop's changed, I want it to go the way it was, and then when they drop an artist, I'm like you do know that artist has songs that are very popular that are talking about fuck a bitch, I'll fucking shoot you. You're talking 90s shit? Like, dude, do you remember how the 90s were, bro?
That was gangster, bro.
It was crazy.
Pac and Biggie died because of it.
We got artists that got killed by that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Real shit.
By our
some guys are doing life right now. Missy Murder's about to get out of prison for something he did back then.
That's what I'm saying.
All these guys.
You can't. That's why I tell people to educate themselves on the quote unquote of what hip hop is because. This is just a vicious cycle. It's entertainment now. It's not even really when you think about it. Let's be real. It's not even hip hop anymore.
Well, Tekashi does this whole shit like, catch me. I dare someone to test my gangster, but he's walking around with security. He's just like, fool. Why am I gonna let you hit me? I'm going viral. I've been 7 times on the billboards.
All you're doing is feeding into him, dude. You're feeding into him. Okay, now another example that works great for that. I'm not into really politics. I don't like getting into politics, and I don't like getting into religion because, to be honest, man, that's a never-ending. It tears family apart, which is happening now.
Kind of like what Mac Miller did when he did that song about being homosexual and all that stuff, and it went viral.
So, my point is that look at like Trump. Okay, the where Trump got was because of.
YG and all them guys saying,
fuck Trump, fuck that.
Remember that shit?
He utilized
his hate.
Everything. He was promoting hate.
Not his hate, but I mean the hate that he was getting.
He was promoting hate, but the hate that people were fucking saying against him, like, they were only helping him. So every time you shared, my point is like, when you say, oh, fuck Trump, blah, 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 I don't know why he's here and here's that, I'd be like, yo, dude, I can check your timeline out. You shared, like, almost every single day of a Trump thing. All you were doing was promoting. You're helping the propaganda, bro. If you don't like something, you don't share it. You don't talk about it, correct? Yeah. If you don't like someone, you're like, dude, I'm not going to talk to that person.
Yeah.
Or are you going to go over and be like, you know what this person is? And all you're doing is giving attention. That's how Trump won. He used social media. His people, that campaign that he had, the campaign manager and shit, fucking genius. They got that guy to be fucking president on the real. And he was talking mad crazy shit.
Yeah.
But he's our president, dude.
Yeah. Fuck.
People are when you contribute, you are also part of the problem.
Right.
That's just the reality of it. Tekashi, if you don't like where he's at, because you are talking and sharing shit and sharing memes and videos or sharing, like, look at this interview with him talking shit.
This is the final boss on SoundCloud or some shit. Has a picture
you are
promoting him. It's funny you say that
because
because that's how I found out about him. I saw this picture where he had these like diamond, these different colored teeth, looked like Skittles, and his hair was this, and it says, once you get to the final boss of SoundCloud, it's him. And then I saw the 6ix9ine on his head, so I'm typing everywhere 69. How do I find 69? And I was like, who the fuck is this kid? And then I came across him, and I was like, I fucking like this dude. You know, I probably would have heard about him, but when people were doing that, it went viral. And look at someone like a battle rapper like Daylight saying stuff like taking shits on stage and stuff like that.
Great example. He knew what he was doing.
He said the very first troll in battle rap was Cannabis. When he came out with the fucking arm hit, Daylight said that he saw him moving his arm around. He said his arm wasn't even broken. He did that shit to make everyone feel sorry for him.
Dude, it's just part of the entertainment industry, man.
And at the end of that night, it was one of the biggest events, and all they were talking about, not about disastrous bars. They were talking about how Cannabis pulled out a notepad and did that. And at the end of the day, it was like, I mean, it fucked his career up because he probably was on some type of drugs or whatever. I'm sorry, Cannabis. I still love you, but we knew you were getting it in.
Yeah, that was pretty sad.
Yeah. We knew you were doing it. Once you said Tom Cruise mom shoes, I knew you were on something like that. But at the end of the day, he actually stole the show. No one talked about anything else but him doing that.
Yeah. And everything was all on that. Same thing, no different with the Tekashi. Same thing, no different with the Trump. Same, no thing with the Daylight. Anything you could possibly think of. Anything that you obviously hate and you're seeing it online, that's how it's getting where it's at.
So then how would an artist who's coming up, how would they figure out what's the way to capitalize off? Not to find something to capitalize off of. Because it has to be a genius and it has to be timing, right?
Timing's everything. See, because if you even notice, like, look at what's that dumb little girl, Little Tay.
Lil Tay, and then you got Bad Baby.
Then all of a sudden, you're starting to see all these other stupid little white girls and shit, and I have nothing against white girls or white.
But the ones that are acting all like, they were like, check my money, bitch. I'm the fucking richest white girl in the world. Check me out, bitch.
Exactly, and that's the problem, is that people see what like the Tekashis or whatever's doing, and they follow that pattern, but
they
it doesn't
figure it out their own way.
Right, some do though, because some just will follow that pattern, and they're just trying to be something. But some will somehow, some way, they figure the little loophole, and they're like, oh, well, he's not doing this a little different. And they can kind of squeeze in through there, and then, boom, changes the game. Because remember, SoundCloud was like a key thing, and then we had all the SoundCloud rappers come through. Not no more. Like, that thing is so oversaturated.
It's already done.
It's done.
It's gone. Like, you got to find something new now.
Now you got to find. Then there was the YouTube shit.
Yeah.
You know? Figuring
and
that
the Vine,
out.
When they would do the dances on Vine.
So there's always something that, and that's why
now
it's
that
important.
Dance, Kiki, you know, like, but it's crazy because Drake had that dude who did the very first dance. I forgot. I think his name was Schwingy or something like that. I was watching it on Ebro this morning and on the Hot 97, and I was like, I'm gonna, you know, he was teaching Ebro how to do the dance, and they interviewed him, and he said, you know, you made that. Drake is now using that as his fucking single. And then he says, you know, you're the one that did that. And he was acting like he was like, yeah, you know, Drake really give me compliments. And they're like, bro, we know Drake probably he probably did a dance, and Drake probably saw that, and then Drake paid that fool out. Was just like, you know, you're getting me. Pretty much everybody's doing it. It's getting millions of views.
Look at the Backpack Kid, dude.
Yeah, the one where his little hands are flying around all quick.
Yeah, dude. Look at what that guy was on Saturday Night Live.
And now they have businesses.
Katy Perry performing and shit.
Or like that guy Chicle, the comedian who's always with his girl, who's always like, he's all pouring apple cider in this thing. Like, he's like, yeah, man, I'm drinking Douce or some shit. I'm drinking on the Vine and shit. Like, I didn't explain that right. I don't know. I'm fucking sorry.
No, I get what you're saying, but see, that's the thing though, is like everyone's trying to find something and find what works and everything like that. But we're now in a world where it's about visual content. People want to see it. Nobody wants to read shit anymore.
That's one thing I got to step up with this podcast is visuals.
I mean, you can still do the podcasting, which is cool and stuff like that, like, you know, because that's an art, you know what I mean? And what's kind of cool with the podcasting is that, because with visuals, after a while, people are just going to kind of get, like, bored to sit and watch it. What's cool with podcasting, this is shit you can listen to on drives, going to work, shit like that. You know
that's
what I mean?
where I listen to a lot of my podcasts.
There you go. you're at work, put the earphones in. Podcasts are great.
I love it.
You don't want to stop because it's just something you can listen to and keep doing what you're doing.
I'm so obsessed that I just want to do my own now. You know,
and
it's like
what you're
I
doing,
invested.
bro.
I got this. You know, so okay, let's jump back. We're done with the Zoo then. Zoo Radio. You want to jump back in Zoo Radio?
Yeah,
I want to ask you about B-side.
Yeah, Zoo Radio. So basically, we're doing it at my pad and stuff, and we had all these different types of DJs. These guys are playing like an EDC and stuff and everything, and they're coming to my fucking garage. And
like what artists did you have? Like what did you what bit? Name drop 2 of them. I need you to name drop 2.
Oh, I would say for sure.
Not even big. They don't have to be like huge, but like what were some of the names of the EDM guys coming through?
Oh, don't you hate when this brain fart? All day, dude, it's this brain fart.
I know, man. It's like Grandmaster Flash. You said one earlier. I forgot what you said, though. Oh, like V-Tech.
Oh, well, V-Tech, yeah.
V-Tech's
doing her
popping
shit
right now.
No, she's doing her shit, man. I mean, dude,
That's what I meant. Okay,
she's,
so V-Tech. I saw V-Tech in there.
She's right now, Jordan, what's her name? Jordan. She's a singer. She's her DJ and shit.
Jordan?
Yeah. Oh man, Jordan something. She was like one of the finalists for American Idol and stuff like that.
Oh, okay,
she's big now, dude. Yeah, she did Broadway shows and everything.
Yeah, no, she's killed. VTech. I think she even has a residency in Vegas, doesn't she?
Yes, she does, dude. She has a couple like different residencies over there, and then she's also has she's part of Pitbull on what is it, Cyrus or XM Radio? She's also with that too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
so she's doing it. She's stuck with it. She's killing it.
Yeah, so we had different types of artists like that. I mean, hit me up and I'll send you some lists and stuff.
And it was live. And
it was live, so we had webcams.
If they go, actually, like we were talking about the spiders and all that shit. The spiders got a hold of the zoo shit. So go Google the zoo shit.
Yeah, there should be stuff up there.
If not, go fuck yourself.
Now this is how it became, because I was doing hip hop music. You know, I was doing music and shit, and I got onto Husky Radio.
Husky Radio.
So shout out to Bubsky, man.
Yeah, shout out to
Detail.
Bubsky, Detail.
So I went to Husky Radio, and they used to do interviews, and I had some.
That was
interviews
before
done
they
there.
split up.
This
when it was just Husky
Radio, yeah, before it became OG
HuskyRadio.com.
and the other whole thing.
Yeah.
So when I went to do the interviews, because you remember it was the webcasting and stuff,
Yes.
they were using like a live stream, and I go, hey, how does this work? And I looked at it, and I was like, I want to do this with the DJ thing, because we were actually only doing Zoo Radio was at the time was just only doing audio. So you log onto the website, and then your Windows media browser
and
pop up.
OTEC. I forgot OTEC.
Yeah, and it's like you would hear the music, right? Mm-hmm. So then I go, I want to do this. And they're like, yeah, all you do is get webcams, and the software's free. You download. I go, dope. I went ahead and did it. But I noticed that they weren't utilizing it to its full potential. So I did more research. And then I was like, oh, dude, we can cut cameras. We could do this. We could put lower thirds and shit. Oh, all right, cool. And then that's what we started using.
You were already hip to that stuff.
Right.
That's your background.
So I was like, cool. So that's how we did Zoo Radio, and you could actually see the artist spinning, and I'll switch cameras, and I was talking like, yo, all right, shout out to so-and-so, and in the chat room going on. It was cool. And I was getting another pad, and I was like, all right, I don't want to do this in my pad anymore. So one day I was met up for a marketing meeting for Raquel, Queen of Bales.
Right.
So we met up over in Hollywood. I had a meeting with her, and then my boy Rocky, he kept hitting me up like, yo, come by and check this shop out. Come by and check this shop out. I got a new shop. He was all excited, right? So I was
wasn't he doing tattoos there? Or what was he doing there?
His buddy was doing tattoos in the back, and he was just had a couple shirts just for selling, right?
It was called something else, wasn't it?
At that time, it was just it was called 86.
86,
right.
yes.
So I came over, and I go, oh, this is cool, man. He goes, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So he showed me the shirts, and I go, well, what do you got in the back? Oh, you want a beer? I was like, cool. Went in the back. There was a fridge.
This is in Covina. Or West Covina.
Covina. This is Covina.
Okay.
So when you go, you know how you walk in the door going to B-side?
Yeah.
That whole back area was empty, and there's trash, and there was a couch. And I was looking around, I was like, so what do you do back here with this? And he's like, no, we just call this 86 Lounge. We just chill here after, we go to club, or we have beers, we just kick it. I was like, huh. I go, hey, I got an opportunity for you. I told him, let me help you out with the store, help you out with marketing. Do you need designs? I'll help do graphic designs. I'll do whatever and stuff. Let me have this back spot here. I got this show. And he goes, yeah, your Zoo Radio thing. I go, can we do it here? And they're like, yeah, fuck it. And that's what happened. So we brought Zoo Radio there. I started helping out with the 86 thing, and it started getting a little bigger. I was doing all the designs, all the shirt designs, everything like that, the marketing promo. And then he's all like, dude, we should do a hip hop show.
Because you were doing Zoo Radio and B-side simultaneously. Like one night it was Zoo Radio, because that's when I came in. That's when I came in, because I remember it was like, one night I wanted to come, and I was talking to Drac, because Drac, I would talk to him a lot.
Drac is a major game who doesn't get a lot. We'll get to that, but Drac is like a major key to that whole fucking thing, to the whole B-side.
Well, that's how I got in. I went there, and it was during that time when you guys were still doing Zoo, and you guys were bouncing back and forth.
Right.
So at that point you wanted to do a hip hop show?
Well, because I was doing Wackoe TV, which was kind of like interviews of hip hop, just the format of what like how B-side was, right? So I go, I want to do this. And he goes, well, I got a friend of mine's like he's all into the hip hop thing and stuff like that, and he'd be down to cop out. Maybe he can help. Cool. So we had a meeting, and the very first meeting was the bar next door to where the shop is at, right there, right? And that's how I met Rabbit. And then we started chopping it up and everything, and Rabbit was kind of telling me like who he kind of knew and stuff.
Because he was rapping. He was from the TNS.
Right. So he was more geared towards like more of like the
Cholo rap.
Now I want to say I don't like to use that word though, but yeah, like the Chicano.
No, that's not
but
Cholo,
it's true.
But it's like gangster rap.
Yeah, so
like Mexican gangster rap.
Right, because they used to do stuff at Iguanas, and he knew like everybody was like Crazy Rays.
Like for a while, like even like Psycho Ram was political, but they were also.
Well, that was their anybody Latino like was like their shit.
But I mean, some people look at me and be like, "Oh, you're Cholo rap." I was like, "Bro, I don't even rap like that." But it's like, I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, so he was more geared towards all that stuff, and he knew a lot of people. He knew like Julio G too, because he's a big hip hop head as well. Like he knows a lot of shit too. Like
Rabbit,
yeah.
Yeah, oh hell yeah.
Yeah. So then I'm like, cool, but I know a lot of these types of cats, which he wasn't familiar with, like Project Blow type stuff, and different types of hip hop, So I go, this would be cool. So that's what we did. And
squished it together.
And we squished it together. I go, look, dude, I do this for Zoo Radio. I know how we could do this. And then that's how we kind of created our first guest. Were actually my boy, I think, Wackoe, with Ominous Words that he went by. And High Tone was another first guest and shit.
Shout out to High Tone, killing it.
And after that,
I met that guy Moneyback, who was in Moneyback, and who was the other guy? They had a group together. I forgot what they were called.
Damn,
it was Moneyback and Cash something, or
who
it was Moneyback and fucking some other dude. But Moneyback, he's all fucking tatted up, all crazy. He's actually acted. I see him in movies and shit, like in music videos.
Yeah, dude.
This was killing it. I remember like just seeing him there, and that's what really inspired me. And I was like, holy fuck, like this is like. This game is changing. Like I'm seeing, like
it was.
I didn't hear about it through anywhere else, but through here. And I looked and I was like, because he was the first one to say, you guys asked him. You were like, oh yeah, you're always tweeting. You're tweeting about when you're taking a shit. You're tweeting about what you're eating.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I got all these fucking fans, and they want to know everything I'm doing. They want to know I'm a real person. And hearing him say that.
Look where we're at now.
Exactly. It was like where I started tweeting, I'll take a picture of a fucking eating salad and posting on Twitter. I was one of those guys, but it was because I heard Moneyback say it there at the you guys were doing podcasts before podcast was even up. Like this was visual podcast. But you guys were doing it, man. Like you guys were actually bringing a gang of we
were like
I've even been on the show a couple times.
We were like what I would like to say is that like cuz OG Husky, well, Husky Radio, OG, whatever. Husky Radio. They were the forefront of that. But
yeah, they did podcasts. It was podcasting.
But they tailored to a certain thing, and they were kind of picky of what they would like. What was cool about us is that we kind of opened the doors to a little bit more other people that were in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So that's what was a little bit different for us. And then we ended up becoming like that gatekeeper, because if you were actually a local artist and you ended up becoming like on our show, it kind of gave you this whole thing like, oh, I think I'm doing something then. Because we were like pretty much the first of the line of like when you're starting to get kind of noticed. Because if you came on our show, it was an invite show. And it was like, hey, we see what you're kind of doing. Yeah, come on through.
And they would be buzzing. And then they would get a little buzz off of it.
And they did. Because we even had, we broke artists like crazy. Reverie is another one that came on. She was nothing when she came on.
I remember meeting her at DTLA at that venue, and she walked up and was like, Mel Dion, and she knew who I was. And now she's fucking blown up.
Now she's doing her
yes,
thing, dude.
And to see that, like you said, you guys broke a lot of artists. You guys put a lot of people in the game to where people were coming to you guys from everywhere. It wasn't just local people. You guys were getting
there was
big names.
There's a lot of cool people rolling through, and then a lot of the networking that myself and Rabbit had, that we knew people. Once we started building the buzz, and then they started seeing what we're actually doing, and then focusing on the production and making it different and setting up a backdrop and just getting more cameras and stuff, and like they were just like, okay, I see what you're doing. And then everyone used to say like, dude, this kind of makes it feel like how it used to be, like the basement, you know, like in 106 or something like that, like a BT. Like, this is kind of cool, because there was nothing like that at that time. Then things were starting to move and change, and the industry was starting to change. Music was starting to change as far as hip hop.
Right.
You know? This was just a little bit before the mumble rap, as everyone calls it.
This is right before fucking digital took over.
Right.
Still when CDs were still kind of
CDs
around.
were still pushing.
Yeah.
Get my CD. Then it really hit where it was like everything was just on MP3. Like, download my shit.
Yeah.
Download my shit.
Yeah.
And then it got more easier to be able to go ahead and be like, yeah, you can see my stuff on iTunes.
You guys built a platform.
That's what we were. It was a platform,
bro.
And well, I don't want to say was, because it still keep going.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, like that.
But at that moment, that's what it was turning into.
Right.
Because at one point, it was just you guys were putting in videos. Now it was a platform to where when someone got on, it was because they were going to have a certain amount of views.
They
on
wanted
them
to promote what they were doing. We had people who were coming on that like were doing shows and events, and they want to come through and chop it up and stuff and talk about their event and everything. We were getting invited to different events and stuff. So it was kind of cool, man. Like, I had a lot of fun, but there was a point where I was kind of getting I don't want to use the word overwhelmed, because I stepped away from the hosting part. I wanted to do behind the scenes because I had a certain vision. Like, dude, we could take this to the next level.
You did start hosting. You were hosting.
I was hosting that whole thing, and then the last maybe year or something like that or whatever, when I was there, that's when I was behind the scene, and I wanted to kind of like change it and kind of evolve it to a certain level.
Like words popping on the bottom.
Yeah, not just that. Yeah, just
when
the production value of it. Right, the production value of it.
It made it to where people were entertained when they were watching it.
Right, yeah, because that's where we're at, though, at that point, because things are starting to change.
World premiering videos, doing all that stuff.
There was a lot of really cool things. So
it was like a radio station.
Yeah, I mean, it was a show. Like, we were like this might be kind of old for some people, though, but we were like the Regis and Kathy Lee of hip-hop.
Oh, the Regis and Kathy Lee of hip-hop. Dropping gems here.
But I was Regis. Sorry, Rabbit. But I was Regis.
Rabbit's Kathy Lee. Rabbit Lee.
Yeah, Rabbit. But we had a good vibe. Like, we fed off each other.
No, you guys it was really good chemistry.
Yeah, we were funny, stupid. I was very dry humor sometimes, or sarcastic, or an asshole.
It's because he had his profession, not his profession, but his where
we had both our own personas that we created and who we were and stuff, and people who knew who we were, and it was cool. So like everything, it just worked well. And then it just came to a point where like I was kind of getting a little, I don't want to say over it though, but like you have to understand, like I've been interviewing people and I've been in the game for a long ass time.
Right.
So like, that's why I wanted to be in the production aspect of it. I didn't want to interview anymore, because to me it just felt like it was very repetitive. There was nothing new and fresh for me. I was kind of hearing the same story from artists. And I'm not talking shit on them though, but like when you've been doing it for a long time, you kind of hear a lot of stuff,
right.
You know what I mean? So that's why I went in the production part, but then I just felt as though that I didn't think that, what I had vision was kind of maybe the same what they were doing, and I would just wanted to do my own thing. And, so that's why I was like, look guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and pull away. But they took it as a joke. So for like, I swear, dude, like 2 weeks.
So you said, where you felt it was that
for myself, I felt though I think that it was, we reached a glass point and we needed to change and evolve into something else so we could continue forth to in a different direction, and then being able to get a certain caliber of certain artists and stuff. But in order to do that, we needed a certain team to do so.
Right.
And a lot of it was like, for behind the scenes aspect was me using a lot of my resources, but we needed other people to be involved, and that was the problem. Like, it can't be relying on whether it's one person or just us, and that wasn't happening. And I felt, though, it's like, look, I think maybe this is the best time for me to kind of do my thing, and I think it was the best decision.
So you knew you can get certain things, so I mean, what I want to understand is like, where did you feel you could, like, where did your mind want to take it?
Because there were new artists coming into the game, and like
like Fora and stuff like that.
No, Fora was still considered that.
Fora did you guys a show?
Yeah, we had Fora a bunch of times. So, but no, it was more of like how because like the music changed.
Like Tekashi, like trying to get fools like that.
Right, like, you know, but obviously Tekashi wasn't around that time, though, but
yeah,
like...
but like his caliber.
Right, yeah, you know what I mean? It was just a different sound, a younger crowd and everything like that. And I think what it was is a lot of the people involved with B-Side, they didn't have quite a big understanding of, like, that new sound that was coming out at that point. So, you know, they weren't familiar with it. You know what I mean? And then usually when you're not familiar with it or anything like that, you're not going to want to kind of move forward to that direction. They were kind of comfortable where it was. And that maybe that's the whole key word there. They were comfortable with what it was, and I wasn't really comfortable with that because I want to kind of go on a different route. I even had hit up Cece, Mamacita, which now she's on Power 106 and obviously in K-Day.
Right.
She actually took my spot to host when I went ahead and...
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I remember seeing her. Yeah. And I remember not seeing you there anymore.
Yeah, but which I was in that little cubbyhole thing and controlling the cameras and shit.
Okay, so that was where you... So they finally gave in to being
well,
like, okay,
we had her,
and
people. What was cool with Cece, because she had plugs, and then she was bringing in certain artists and stuff like that. But I think what it was is that her vision of what she would have liked to see B-Side go... It wasn't like kind of the same vision as everybody else, but I did understand what she wanted to do, and that's the reason why I kind of had brought her to the table.
I mean, she's smart, bro. She was at the Kanye West fucking listening party in Wyoming.
That's what I got to say, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Pusha T after he just
we could have been on a whole different level. In my opinion, this is my opinion, but I think we could have been on a whole different state of mind and stuff like that to be able to kind of be like the complex of fucking like that hip hop thing. Because look what Complex wasn't even around. But look what Complex was doing and stuff and how they were doing shit. And that's what I wanted to do.
I see what you're saying. So you, like, they figured it out and they spiced it up and they did whatever it needed to do to look a certain, is to produce a certain type of product.
Right, the image, everything needed to change.
That's what I was trying to
understand. The logo,
and it's also for the listeners, because there's a lot of people that are going to be listening that are probably...
And that's what's important. This goes into play with how we were talking about earlier about older artists,
right?
And how they complain and like they're not where they're at, where they used to be. Kind of the same thing. You're not trying to evolve. We're not saying for you to dress a certain way or to change what you're talking about. It's just how you deliver it.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You can't be driving the Honda all the time. You're gonna have to upgrade to something that looks cool so people could turn your head and be like, "Yo, who's in that car?"
Right.
You feel me?
It's kind of like, yeah, like certain guys have figured it out. Like a lot of guys have figured it out. You know, and it's just about like,
that's why they're at where they're at.
Right. Even like Eli from Living Legends, like he's not as huge as a lot of these artists being promoted and stuff like that, but these guys are still making money off of hip hop. They're still creating stuff, and they found that niche. Atmosphere is another person that isn't like all over the radio. I mean, he will probably be on K.
I mean, he's selling. He sells. They sell shows. Dude. Him and Ant sell fucking gang of shows, dude.
So
like,
it's like they figured it out, and they did it to the point where they didn't want to be all. I guess it's like if you're gonna want to do something, you got to go hard. If you want to be that underground and keep it, not even underground. If you want to keep it to a certain standard of what you do, you got to take that to the highest peak, like what Psycho Realm did and what all these fools did, and then like you got. If you want to do it like this, you do it like how Tekashi did it, or how.
But you got to keep in mind, everyone's gonna hit that glass ceiling, and that's where the trick comes into play. It's like boom, you hit the glass ceiling. Now it's like, all right, so how to go around this? How do I break through this? And that's where you got to figure out, okay, what's happening right now? What's different? What am I doing different? What am I not doing?
So you felt that you need that.
I hit the glass ceiling for myself, and I felt as though, like, okay, we need to break through this glass ceiling.
You needed another caliber of artists.
Right. So it just wasn't really going to kind of work in that sense. And then I go, you know, I kind of want to do something different too, because you have to remember, for the past, so that was like, what, 5 years or something like that, when I was at B-Sides and we started it. Prior before that, Zoo Radio, it was like 6-7 years going through, and then being in the industry for, since 1999, okay? So from 1999 all the way until when I had left, like, B-Side, I was always putting my energy and stuff into not just, I built Wackoe. Here's the best way to explain it. I was building a house, and it was Wackoe. And I laid the foundation, and I laid the framing. But then I was like, oh, I got this, and I met so-and-so. And I go, look, man, I know how to start building this house, and I could take it to the next level. Well, I'll leave this here. Then I go start building Zoo Radio. And I built this house at Zoo Radio. We made a fucking house and everything like that, you know? And then I built B-Side. I built this whole house and everything like that. The problem with, like, Zoo Radio was like, after we built this house, it was like, okay, cool. Like, hey, is anyone going to wash the dishes here? Why are you guys leaving trash all in this room? It's getting messy in here. Like, no one wants to do nothing, but you guys want to live in this house. And I was like, you know what? I can't do that anymore. So I was like, hey, here you go. Here's the keys to this house. I'm cool. I'm done with it. Do what you want with it. And then it just fucking died and disappeared. With B-Side was just like, cool, we have this pad right here. But I was like, hey, you know what? Let's upgrade the stove. And, let's change the furniture here. Like, you know, let's modernize it so it gives it a little better look, you know, because then we're going to get some cool, more visitors come through. We need to get a different refrigerator, maybe one that's this. But no one wanted to really do that. They're like, no, why? This is cool. I like the couch how the way it is right here. Nah, man, this still works like that. It's cool. I'm like, you know what, man? You guys can have the house. I'm going to go ahead and go on. I went back to Wackoe, and then it was still there, the hammer, the nails, and it was just the framing. And I was like, fuck this shit. And I went ahead and said, I'm just going to fucking build my own house. And that's where I'm at right now, bro. And I'm living really nice in my own house and shit.
Fuck yeah, bro. That was a great analogy.
So that's the reason that I was like, you know what? I'm tired of helping build these houses and using what I know and my resources. I got to do this for myself. So in the 2 years that when I stepped away from B-Side, I just completely focused just on Wackoe Films, and then I created Monopoly Media. So now that's where I'm at, and I'm cool. I have already done 4 short films. We're working on other ones with scripts. I've done I don't know how many fucking music videos, from reggae to country.
You did some Psycho Ram, some Sick Jack and shit.
I did
one of my favorite groups ever.
Concerts and stuff. I've done I don't know how many like concert recap things I've done, whatever. I've traveled the world because of artists taking me across the world, just having me film with them and shit. Just like, I'm paying you, I'm taking you with me. I just need you to film this whole tour. So we're gone for like 3 weeks, traveling the world. Like, there's so many different things, and it's cool because it's all because of what I've built and the foundation I've created and my resume, and obviously what I utilize is my tools, which is my camera and shit, you know? So it's cool, man, and that's where I'm at right now, and that's the reason why I kind of just stepped away from the B-Side thing, and I think it was a good move because I'm in a great position, and I'm now at a point where I'm actually, you know, helping other people with their. Now I'm getting paid to help people with their businesses. You see to the side here, I have like this whiteboard.
Oh yeah.
On this wall. This was a client that came in today, and he's a personal trainer. We sat for 2 hours, and I broke down his whole business. He left here with less of a headache that he's been trying to figure out how do I make my business to the next level. Because the trainers, it's like hip hop. It's oversaturated. Everyone's a fucking trainer.
Oh, for sure.
So I've been getting a lot of these clients, and they're like, I don't know what to do. I'm not making the money I used to because everyone's fucking a trainer. Everyone's just doing their own.
And a lot of the guys are creepy too.
Yes. So I've been doing that so that people are paying me just to sit and
to
break
make
down
them look
the
like
business.
legit.
Yeah.
You know.
So now that's why I get paid to do what I was doing to create other shit. But I'm helping people with their businesses. So that's what Monopoly Media does.
So you got around the glass ceiling like that.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And then at the end of it, it's kind of like you're. Not even at the end of it, but at the beginning of it, it's like all this experience is what's going to be able to be your knowledge and your smarts. And
the more that you learn about whatever the industry that you are in, the more value you're going to have. Now, if you work at a warehouse and your job is to pick up a box from a trailer and put it on a rack where it's supposed to go, that's all you're doing for 8 hours, right? But if you could figure out, okay, where does this box go after that? Right? Then you figure that out. Now you create value, so you probably can get a different position of that. The more you learn about that warehouse, the more you're going to move up. And you're going to be on top of the game, and you're not going to be in the hot-ass trailer fucking pulling boxes anymore. You have to create value for yourself so that way people are able to be like, you know what, I want to give you an opportunity here. Or, hey, man, I need you for this. I need you for that. The more value you have for yourself, the more your opportunities you're going to get. You feel me? So
Message.
So like you have to learn your industry inside and out. All right, a hip hop artist. Okay, you're a rapper. for myself. I had like 1 album, 2 albums that I put together, right? You know, I did music videos and stuff. However, though, because I was learning more about the industry and shit, I figured, like, you know what? I'm not going to do this because, man, this isn't me. Like, I'm not going to be no big time fucking thing. I went ahead and found out where I fit in that pocket. You're not necessarily going to be, just because you're rapping now, you know, or whatever you're doing, you know, artists, however you want to categorize yourself, you're probably not going to be that. You're probably not going to be getting paid to do that, be that artist. That's why you got to understand how the industry works, because you might find maybe you're good at, like, engineering, because you say you record your own shit, but maybe you're good at mixing or something like that. Dude, there you go. There's that avenue that maybe you suck, right? But your marketing is fucking dope.
Phenomenal.
But every time people like, oh, what? This guy looks dope. And but when they hear this shit, like, you suck. Okay, yeah, cool, fuck it, you suck.
Like, you got yourself there.
But hey, my marketing's cool because everyone, you know, sees my shit.
Hey, bro, you trying to get a fucking million eyes on you? Let me show you how to do this shit real quick.
Let me help you with that shit. That's what I've done with myself. It's like all the shit I've learned. Now I go to people and I see, like, hey, I see what you're trying to do. You know what? I can help you with this, man. This is what I've done. This is my resume. This is what I can do for you. It's like, oh, what? Go, cool. Let's sit down. We'll have a consultation. Let's talk about it. See where you're at with your business or whatever you're trying to do. And then I go ahead and I'd be able to lay out a plan for them, man. And they're like, dude, let's get to work on this shit. So that's what you got to do, man. You got to find out. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, I guess you could say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to be able to go ahead and spread it out and see the other different opportunities that might come into play. You might be rapping right now or doing whatever and shit. Next thing you know, this other door might open, you know, because you were good at marketing. Next thing you know, you're like, shit, you're doing YG's fucking marketing or something like that. Who knows?
Or you're fucking acting or
you know
some
what
shit.
I mean? Right. Who knows
crazy.
what you're doing? Yeah. So that's why it's important, man, to
you got to go with your heart.
Yes,
your gut
go with
instinct.
your heart and network. Network is everything.
Because if you would have just kept thinking, you probably would have still been there. But you went with your gut. You went with your heart.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know what it was, an X factor.
Yeah.
You didn't know. And was there ever at a point where you were just like, fuck, why did I leave?
No.
You never looked and was like, fuck, man, I should have stayed?
No.
You've always just been like, I'm set, my mind is set.
I'm an entrepreneur at first.
You probably went through that before the day you walked away. You probably already went through that in your
head. I was already emotional.
You're probably already some like days like, fuck this shit. I'm gone. In your head, you're probably gone, but then you're like, I'm going to go back. And then you finally were like, you know what? Because if they thought you were playing, that's probably been in your head.
Well, because, they thought I was playing and stuff like that. And I kept
because
saying,
we're all, it's just like with friends, you know, there's times where it's just, things happen and then it's just like, you know, but then it comes that real time. It's like a relationship. You can keep being mean to your girl, One of these days, she's going to be like, I'm fucking leaving you. And you're like, yeah, right, bitch. Yeah, right, bitch. And then that one day, she's going to be like, I'm gone. and then you're like, well, why don't you let me why can't we do this? Well, it's because I'm fucking someone else. That's why. And then you're like, no.
Yeah, man. It's just, you know, I already had it in my head and stuff, and I already kind of vision of what I wanted to do. And I already, like I told you, the whole, you know, building a house analogy.
Right.
And I was just like, you know what, I got to go back to something, and I have a feeling
and
that.
And plus, you knew your value, and you were like, well, fuck, I'm doing all this extra shit. And at the end of the day, my opinion, it's like, it was just kind of like you were building things that weren't really, that you did, like they were yours, but in reality, it just turned into something that it was too many hands in the pot, and your idea.
Right, yeah, you know, and everybody had their own vision of what they wanted something to be, which is nothing wrong, dude. That's just how business works and everything like that, you know.
Yeah.
But like for me, I'm just like, you know, I just want to kind of maybe focus on my own and not worry about like running across somebody or anything like that. Like, you know, I think I can do this on my own, work on my own and shit, and that's just what I did, man. You know, but nothing would be where it's at. Like, I'm not saying that it's all me because. You know, the reality was, like, Drac was a fucking major key element to that shit.
My guy Drac.
Because when he came aboard, Rabbit says, oh, I got a buddy that wants to come check it out. And then he started working the cameras while me and Rabbit were hosting. And he would always do the cameras ever since then, dude. Until fucking, like, I went ahead and kind of jumped aboard.
I remember that. He would always be doing the camera. Because he would bring me along, and I met him through it. I forgot. It was more just like music. He was getting beats, and I was going to do an album and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think they were going to put a studio
Yeah.
And then you guys had a recording studio
Yeah,
there,
we had
didn't
a
you?
recording studio.
Yeah, so that's where he was like, just come check it out. And I went there, and then I was like, this is fucking cool. And then I was like, man, how do I get on? And then you guys were like, yeah, you'll get on soon. And I was like, all right, I need to put my work in.
Yeah.
So I just started doing shit in the battle rap, and then that's when it was like, I had something to talk about. Because at that point, because there's a point where everybody wants to do something because it looks cool. But then as soon as you understand that you got to create some shit and put it out, and then that's when you start figuring, I didn't know where battle rap was going to be, like you said. You just do things, you build the frame, and you do it because you love it, and then it turns into something, and you start realizing, this is my strong point. Like, I know how to coach some of these battlers. Like, some of the battlers that are top tier killing it right now, I've brought them from the ground up, fucking finding them at events. I feel like you find an animal and then you raise it and it's a fucking beast. Like, get out there and you know what I'm saying?
Like a scout, fool, for like
scout
for like fucking NBA,
yes,
baseball, whatever.
And it's like, you just kind of you get on those matches, you feed them up, you get them pumped, you get them big, and then they're like a prize. I probably shouldn't say fighting dog, but it's a prize big ass dog who will kill shit, and
well,
that's
it is a battle, bro. So
yeah, so I understand that, and especially like what you're talking about, brand building. That's a heavy, being somebody who can get attention, and brand building is what battle rap is all about. Because there's guys who get probably paid, who say they get paid $10K, but it's just like, fuck, they might really get paid.
Because you got these cats that are battle rapping, like their idea, the purpose is obviously to fucking spit some dope shit. However, though, you got to project yourself a certain way. You got to stand out. You got to like really stand out from this other person. You know what I mean? So you're branding yourself. You're kind of like marketing. Then you have like you're prepping, prior before the event, hyping things up and shit. Look what Disaster does. Like, you know what I mean?
He's
always
a monster.
Shit talking, whatever, prior before, making funny videos or whatever it is. Like,
yeah.
That's genius. That's why he is where he's at.
Yeah.
If you look at his persona,
that cartoon
what he does,
that they did, Ketchup vs. Mustard.
Yeah.
That's fucking Lush One hosting. That's fucking Immaculate's Mustard and Disaster's Ketchup.
Yep.
You know, and
it's crazy, man. Like, it's.
Did you see that?
Yeah, no,
okay.
I did see that. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes, every fucking, I think even I don't even know how many artists. Everybody was sharing that shit.
That shit was fucking crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, you're right. It's that's what everything is about. It's about branding in this game, pretty much.
That is where we're at. So all you other cats out there that sit and complain about the state of where hip hop is, no, that's not hip hop. No, the music industry's dead. Da da da. No, it's you. I'm sorry, but it's you. You're just sitting there complaining, and you're no different than a keyboard warrior. Like, you just need to get out there and you need to figure out what is it that I'm not doing if you're an artist, and do it. And if it's not working, nothing's happening, maybe the reality is it's like, okay, this is it. So figure out what you can keep doing in the industry. If you can't figure out where to place yourself, where you fit in, then you just don't fit in, man. You know what I'm saying? Start figuring out how you're going to go ahead and pay those bills or whatever it is. Because if you're relying on just, you gotta be working like 3 jobs. And
hip-hop has to be one of them.
Music don't sell anymore. Albums don't sell no more, yo. Like, it's just a vehicle. You don't make money off music anymore. You make money off of the product, and the product is the individual.
And you got to make people want to come see you at shows and buy your fucking merchandise.
Tekashi makes money off of Tekashi, him.
Yes.
How he looks, how he's talking, what he's doing. That's what's paying his bills. That's what's putting his music on the billboard so goddamn much. That's what's working. Little Pump, the list goes on. Rich the Kid, the list goes on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Then you got
even Rest Peace XXX.
Yeah.
It's what they understood how to market themselves and how to put themselves out
even
there.
Even like a fucking Drake, he just caught the biggest L and he just hit over 1 billion streams in a fucking day.
He hit the biggest L, but his album fucking still demolishing shit over Pusha's.
I like the album. It's fucking great.
Can't complain.
I like Drake. I like Pusha. I like them all. What did you think about that battle?
Wow.
Did you listen?
I listened to it. I mean, I had to give it to Pusha because just that last whole thing was just the picture.
The baby I didn't care about. The picture where it was like, oh.
The picture was a big, massive thing right there because it's to a point where Drake had to put out a post explaining
in the middle of the battle
why that picture was the way it was.
And it's crazy though, because I heard I think it was Charlotte, or I think it might have been Ebro. Somebody said something like, "Oh well, like he's from Canada, where they don't really have too much. It's full of different races, and then it's like, you know, they don't
French
really
and
get
white, bro. So
well, I mean, then they have like, you know, I think they even have African, or they have
right. Oh yeah,
I think so. It's kind of like he was saying, well, they don't really get. These race issues are out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you guys doing that in Canada? And then they had a shirt that said Jim Crow, which is that, and it was a Canadian company that made that shirt. So they're like, why are you guys standing behind like racism like that when racism really doesn't exist in Canada? So like that's what they said. I don't really know. Maybe it does exist out there. I don't know. But I just thought that picture, whether it was explaining this or explaining that, it was a bad. That was a bad look. You can't be in blackface no more. After Tropic Thunder and what's his name being in his face in blackface, you can't even do that no more.
What he did with Tropic Thunder, Downey Jr. was like, at first, you know, I remember seeing the trailer when that came out.
No one got mad at it.
I was like, I don't know. But then when people saw that, like, you know, I have, you know, friends that are whatever, black, African American, however you want to say it. See, it so sucks now because you don't really know how to identify shit anymore.
Yeah,
because
like, people are so sensitive.
Right. So, but anyways,
you don't want to offend.
I have homies and stuff, and like, man, when I saw that shit, I was fucking hilarious. Like, that fool killed it. Because I really thought he was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was a great movie. It was funny.
It was funny, hilarious. He killed it.
But if that came out now, it would be an uproar.
Oh man,
it would be so bad. That movie would be destroyed, and no one even talks about that movie now. No. Like no one even really that never gets brought up. Robert Downey Jr. probably doesn't even get any flack from it.
No, they just see him. Oh, that's Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man. How the hell could you go in blackface and then get Iron Man?
He's Iron Man now, bro.
The biggest thing ever, but you were in blackface before that. That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's Iron Man, man. And yeah, it's just a trip, dude. It's crazy how the industry's evolved and how music evolved and stuff, and you know how hip hop is and where it's at right now. And in my opinion, I think it's in a great place because there's a lot more creative opportunity and there's no boundaries. Because if you look back into hip-hop, even the early 2000s and up, like, you had it to fit this certain format. Look at the 90s, dude. Like, you had to have the lugs, baggy pants and stuff. You had to, like, the Parker jackets.
Yeah, be gangster.
You had it to look a certain way. If you didn't, you weren't hip-hop. Nah,
yeah.
You ain't hip-hop.
Yeah.
Look at Eminem, what he had to go through. Nah, you're white. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think hip-hop is in a beautiful position right now because the creativity of it is, like, endless.
You can just upload it yourself.
You can do whatever you want, man. You can do what you want. It's just so much freedom with it in as far as that. Hip-hop is, last I checked, what they were saying, hip-hop is 75% of the business of the entertainment industry, of music.
And people didn't think it was going to be around.
Rock was, like, the 75% prior before that. Rock now is... They said less than 10%. Country's like 5%, or no, maybe a little more. I don't know. Pop is like 2%.
Hip hop took over.
Yes,
because everybody is hip hop.
Even
the weirdest people you wouldn't think were hip hop, they're going through some shit. They probably have some type of depression. Like, that's not hip hop, but going through it and just understanding yourself. Everybody is like, we're not different.
Nah,
you know,
we're all the same.
It's like people who've been in gang fights probably got PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. They don't like that shit just as much as someone else wouldn't like that shit. So it's like hip-hop is everything. If you look at it now, look at Lil Peep, rest in peace. His music was like kind of rockish. Like sometimes like it was like if you hear it, you're like, well, this kind of sounds like a little kind of rock. Like,
yeah,
I can hear it on a rock song or something like that. But it was hip-hop, and it was allowing people to be themselves. It was.
If you even look at Rage Against the Machine, that was really... It was hip-hop, it was punk, it was metal, it was rock, it was, like, so much, because it was fused. Like, listen to Rage now. You hear a lot of hip-hop in that shit. That was spitting some shit, too, other than singing and screaming and shit. He's fucking doing a bunch of shit. Yeah, Zach, he raps, though, but even prior before all that shit, dude. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, hip-hop is not one specific thing, dude. Hip-hop is the umbrella. You get what I'm saying? hip hop, all nice and big on the top of the tree, everyone. Right under that tree, it started breaking down. Rap, fucking hip rock, emo, hip hop. It just goes on and on and on. How come hip hop is the only industry genre that is like this, where we're always banging heads of what's what? Rock? Nah, man. Everyone knows what's what. That's punk, that's emo, that's this and that. But it goes under the umbrella of rock.
Right.
You feel me? Like that cat that was saying that NWA was not hip-hop. He's crazy, dude. That's like fucking saying that Led Zeppelin was not rock. Or not metal. Because when Led Zeppelin came out at the time, you have to understand, that was crazy to people's ears.
Right.
That wasn't like...
They didn't understand what was going on.
That was like, oh my God, this is heavy. Oh, this is some devil shit. No, this is some devil. You listen to that shit now, bro. It's not even anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, Metallica is more aggressive.
They were like devil worshipping music, and it wasn't even that. You hear
They called it metal, bro. That was like, they're the kind of like that first metal band and something like that, right? But like they were saying that's all heavy. That's heavy rock. That's, you get what I'm saying?
That's why they called it metal, because it's like hard,
it's heavy. It's hard, you know. So it's like
rock.
Led Zeppelin, they changed the industry of how music was and stuff. You know what I mean? That's the same thing with NWA, dude. How can you call them not fucking hip hop when they're taking the same elements of what hip hop, the foundation of how hip hop is?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They just fall under the category of rap. Now, if you would have said, like, nah, that they're not hip-hop, they're under the category of rap, then I would have respected that, because that's true, and I agree. Yeah, that's rap, because they're aggressive, how they talk, what we're talking about, you know?
Right.
But rap changed and evolved into it. Look at Wu-Tang and everything, like.
And they were saying some of the kind of that they would call Wu-Tang hip-hop, but Wu-Tang was just as gangster as, if not, maybe, no, I wouldn't say even more, but they were probably more gangster than, I mean, I know Dre wasn't a gangster, but I know a lot of the Wu-Tang dudes were really with the shits.
They were the real deal type shit before they were even fucking anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, the one thing, every time I hear, which track is it where Dre says, you don't want me turning back to the old Dre? That's,
were you talking about slapping people and doing all that shit?
No, but what song is that? Man, here we go again with the brain fart. Probably these people are going to be fucking pissed off at us because fucking...
Google that shit and write it in the
I think Eminem's on that shit too and stuff like that, whatever. But anyways, there's a line where it says...
Forgot about Dre?
Yeah, forgot about Dre, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You don't want me to go back to the old me and shit, right? So, and then when in my head, I'm like, oh, the old you mean the one where you're wearing a tight-ass fucking, glittery-ass fucking... outfit?
What was it, the World Class Wrecking Crew?
Yeah, like, okay, which old me are you talking about? Are you talking about the fake, you know, I'm gangster, but I'm not really gangster and shit, when the real gangster guy was fucking the guy funding the group?
Easy.
You feel me?
Ren.
Yeah, so everyone's playing a part. Everyone's fucking playing a part in this shit. Not everyone's really what it is, but Wu-Tang, man,
they were really
the
with
real
the shits,
deal,
bro.
They were real deal. They were more...
They were fucking dude. They were beating up, I think that was... Who was the one who was chasing people and beating them up, because they were slinging their bootlegs out there in New York? I think it might have been Wu-Tang. I think Wu-Tang went out with Bats, Capone and Noriega, and I think it might have been the Boot Camp Clique.
Boot Camp Clique, yeah.
They were the ones going, and they were seeing dudes bootlegging tapes. They would break their whole shit, take it.
Wu-Tang was like some aggressive shit, like, you know what I mean? They were the real deal.
But then you also got the real gangsters that were back in the day, like Nate Dogg was they said was really gangster with the shit.
Yeah.
A lot of the, you know, Brother Lynch and Sebo, Ice-T.
Ice-T was fucking real shit. That fool was a drug dealer and stuff, dude.
Yeah, a lot of these dudes were like, they were really with the shit. But if you see a guy like Rick Ross and stuff like that, these guys were not. It just starts going into where
right. But at that point, man, that's where hip hop was starting to change, because now it wasn't just like, here, look it, man. Here's the reality. The reason why hip hop is where it's at right now, and I'm not trying to be racist or anything like that. It might sound it though, but it's because of the white people. They're the ones that made fucking hip hop rich, because they're the ones, the suburban kids and everything like that. They were the ones buying the music, because they didn't live that shit. They want to be
and
that.
It's always been like that, right?
Yes, it's always been that way. Always been that way. You get what I'm saying? We weren't. The hood fucking wasn't fucking buying the music really and shit, dude. They supported, you know, but they weren't buying that shit. They just dubbed the fucking shit, dude. Like, the real people that were putting money into people's pockets and took hip hop to where it's at right now was the suburban white kids.
It's funny you say that because when I was watching that Tupac movie, and when Tupac got his deal, is because that the owner of I think Interscope,
Jimmy?
his daughter was the one that was like, I like Tupac, and showed his dad. His dad was like, what? Jimmy Iovine was like, well, let me see that, and it was Pac, and he was like, oh shit. He's like, man, I gotta think, I got signed because of a 9-year-old little girl, and I was like, fuck, and it was a little white girl, and they go, hey daughter, or whatever her name is, tell Tupac what your favorite song is. She's like, I don't give a fuck. And I still don't give a fuck. And he's like, oh shit. He's like, oh yeah, that's my daughter. She walks away. And I was like, wow, like that. You saying that, just that scene just played in my head right now. I was like, you are right,
man. It's crazy.
It's true.
Even do you know who? I don't know if you're familiar with like the salsa music and stuff. Like Hector Lavoe, he was like a really known like musician.
Right.
He was like the Tupac of like fucking like the salsa merengue stuff. You know what I mean? So this guy, he had a younger son, and I think this was in the movie too when they did the bio movie on him though. But like the salsa music, that whole movement was actually growing the same time when hip hop was growing, bro. And there was a scene in there where he's all like, "What are you doing, mijo?" And he had a jumpsuit, and he's all like, "I'm gonna be a break dancer."
Oh shit!
You feel me, dude? Like, and that's what I'm saying though. That my point is, it's like the hood didn't make hip hop what it was right now. It was the people who bought into it that made it, and it still continues today. Coca-Cola, everything else. It's a whole different ball game now, bro. You got Sprite.
It had lyrics on the fucking can.
Yeah,
it had
dude.
Nas lyrics on it.
That's just the way
J.
the
Cole.
shit works, dude. The industry works, man. So that being said, hopefully people have a better understanding, and maybe they can go do some history research.
What's next for Wackoe? What's next?
Well, just continuing my business, what I have, man, and they're going really well. And just really my main focus I've been doing is whatever free time I get, short films and getting some movies in. So I have a lot of ideas. I did this one called Charlie, and I wrote a script. So we just finished filming that, and I have a rough cut of it already.
Nice.
And so I'm already thinking of other ideas of different types of short films I want to put together and stuff. I'm always constantly just, my brain is like nonstop, dude. It's like a machine. Me and a buddy of mine were actually talking about putting like an entrepreneur convention thing together. We're getting panelists of people that are successful in businesses and stuff. And basically, if you're trying to be in the business or something, or trying to open your own business or whatever it may be, this is the place to go. And to ask questions and to ask people that are doing it and stuff like that. Like we were thinking, like even to a point, like getting somebody represented from like UPS or FedEx, and to be there and talk about the importance of shipping, not to sell like, oh, we're going to provide you this, but to talk about how the shipping process works, how it can benefit your company, depending on what your company is like that. You feel me? Like, if you never knew how
to put those digital podcasts too. Well, put the audio out.
We're gonna do all that, and to a point where there'll be a website, and you can get a membership, and then you can go ahead and get all this information. So those are the things that now I want to do. You know, I'm a little bit more older and stuff, and I want to be able to get this information that I have and be able to share it. You know, and that's where we're at now. You know, we can create websites and create subscriptions, and people could go on there and get like videos learning about anything, possibly with business and stuff. So that's what we're trying to reach for. That's still in the beginning process because we just kind of figured this out.
Right.
You know, and yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Like, you know.
You could even do it on YouTube and just do like Patreon.
Yeah.
You know the Patreon where you pay a month?
I know a couple friends that do all that stuff.
Yeah,
man.
my
There's
friends.
A lot of artists and everything.
Yeah, like the Patreon, like battle rappers will do it to where they'll just like release certain footage.
Right.
And then the footage that...
You want more?
Yeah. And then they'll be like, have an amazing event. Be like, we're not going to, like, if you want to see this event, like, if you want to see these now, this will be uploaded at all times. You can come here and watch a full event.
Right.
Fuck the pay-per-view. You come here and watch it. Over here, you're just watching the edited cuts. But here, you're going to see the actual interviews. You're going to see this. So you have to pay for that subscription.
There's a lot of great fucking outlets and there's so many tools now that you're able to do.
Instagram, you're able to put like an hour video up.
Yeah.
You have your own channel.
It's
That's
great,
crazy,
dude. Yeah, no, Instagram's changed the game now too. And that's what I'm saying, dude. You have to understand, educate yourself on the industry and what's moving and stuff. If you're trying to be something, whatever it may be, especially in business, you got to educate yourself on how social media is being utilized, because that's a major tool right now. That's a big major.
There's
thing.
a lot of how to do videos too, like
everything,
learning shit,
dude.
Post videos of
where do we get our news from? Fucking
Facebook, internet. Yeah. I get my
Everything
internet
is
from,
online.
I get this shit from Instagram. Everyone.
We know when shit happens before the news even fucking puts it out.
And we put out the real shit. Like you see those videos where the cops are pulling people over, and it's just them going.
The
live.
news
is from us now.
Is us.
We're the people.
We are the news, bro. We are the news.
Wow.
Where before we relied on them. Not no more. We took the power away because of social media. Because of that, now we can. We're actually now guiding the story where they took control of the story.
And it's kind of it gets to the point where it's like we want it, but then when you start really seeing the videos, oh my god, dude! Like Facebook is probably the most disgusting place I've ever been to.
Isn't
in my
it crazy
life.
though? Like,
I see horrible fucking things on there, dude. Horrible. I've seen more people die on Facebook than I've ever seen in my life. And I would go on things like chaotic.com and just be like, okay, I just saw a cartel killing. Now it's like, really? Like, you seeing that, abusing a kid? Like, scroll. You're fucking torching a dog. Scroll.
It's crazy
what
that
in the
shit
fuck,
you see.
Dude?
You know what? It makes me feel kind of like, I don't know if you remember this, or maybe this is too old for you or something. Do you remember those movies and shit? It was called Faces of Death.
Yes, I remember that. I used to watch them.
Yeah, I did too. But that's
what
what
it
it is.
Reenacted.
No, a lot of them reenacted though. But like that's what we're seeing is Faces of Death. But we're actually really seeing the real footage.
You're
and
seeing
shit.
things like I never would have thought I would have ever seen like somebody abusing a fucking child. Like see a video of it and it'd be online.
That shit just
and people are sharing it, dude. And
that's what's crazy about that, man.
I saw the one where I didn't even click it. I saw a lady. She was like had her foot on top of the baby's back, and like she was like had all her weight on it. Like her other foot was up, and that was and then it said, mother does this to a kid, and I scrolled.
I avoid watching any of that.
And people
shit,
were
man.
writing like this disturbed me. So I'm like, so this isn't a clickbait to where it's gonna take me to penis enlargement pills. This is an actual video that somebody just. I was like, this is what we need, but it makes me sick to my stomach because I'm scrolling past things I never would have thought I would ever seen. I've seen people commit suicide on that shit.
Here's the crazy part of this,
and it's because I'm following the media channels. There's media takeout, and then I'm seeing
now all crazy stuff. But here's the crazy part. And this is what trips me out, and I can't comprehend this though. But everyone's like, "We live in a crazy world now. Everything's falling apart. We live in a crazy world." No, it's been like this.
Just getting exposed.
All we're just doing is
exposing
it. That's it. This has been going on for forever. Racism and shit. This has been going on for a long time, people. All this shit that we're fucking sharing and stuff. It's never been gone. It's always there. Now it's just. We have access to be able to fucking put it out there, and we're now seeing it. And a lot of these people are like, "Oh my god, this is crazy. We live in a crazy ass world." No, you
like
just
the
been
whole
sheltered.
Pizzagate shit, how they hacked that chick's email. Everyone said that shit was. I mean, it probably was fake, but you don't just go erase 1,000-something emails or 13,000 emails. I've tried erasing emails, and you know how long that shit fucking takes, dude?
Just deleting.
And that's when you're already being subpoenaed by the feds, and they went and you erased them at that point.
Yeah.
And that was just there's a lot of creepy shit that's going on, but it's to the point now where it's just so rapid. Like all someone has to do is just go on. Like there's things where guys are talking shit on Twitter, and these guys will find out where you're at and show up to your house and beat the fuck out of you.
It's not hard to find people, bro.
No.
It's not hard to find people at all. Look what happened to Roseanne Barr.
Yikes.
Right? But she's always been that way.
But she just got flamed just because of the internet. She said stuff before, but it's just the time that we're in now. You got
especially
flamed.
right now. Right now, everyone's so sensitive on different shit. Like, I understand that point of view is like, I understand that. However, though, I feel as though you attacking and just destroying somebody or something like that is not going to make a change because now you're no different than what the evil that you're fighting.
And I think it's because people have been bottled up for so long that finally they're able to have a voice, and they just have. It's when you arguing with that person who keeps talking over you because they want you to hear what they're saying.
Right.
And it's just like if you like,
no one can debate.
Yes, it's like I will listen to you, but just you need to hear what I have to say, and then you go right into your point, and they cut you off again, and they just start, and it's just like Jesus Christ. That's exactly what it kind of is,
Yeah.
Jeez, we went on a little dark rant there. Went a little dark there.
That's just the reality of stuff, though. But
okay, so then Wackoe Adventures. That's what you got going on.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
can see that on YouTube and everything.
And that's a concurrently. You're continuing to do
yeah.
okay.
Just something I'm just constantly trying to do and everything. And again, it's just like documentation of all the different cool people I meet and stuff. And then another thing I've been starting too is called Sound Deaf. And basically, I get to sit down with entrepreneurs and artists, and they talk about the pros and cons, how they did it. It's something that I'm really excited to do. I just did one with 60 East, and
nice.
We talked about like how it's different now to when he was an artist and what he did to get where he's at now, and a lot of cool stuff. He's just I just actually talked to today. I don't even know if I should say or whatever though, but. From what I understand, like he got a good opportunity now with something, so a whole new ball game's happening for him, which is dope because he's been working really, really hard and stuff. So
yeah, he's been killing the game for a while. Like he was a dude who actually went and did the paid dues.
Paid dues thing.
He got it tatted. He got it promoted. He's the dude where that's what you were talking about by taking it to that next level.
Yes.
Like you do what other motherfuckers don't want to do.
And that's what he's done. So like he's a great example, and that's what we do. I sat down and talked with them on that. I'm going to sit down, I hit up Reverie, so we could talk about that and talk a lot about like her position, especially as far as females and different things like that.
I'll always support Reverie. She has my support.
Yeah, she's a beautiful person. I'm not talking just physically. I'm just talking about just overall.
Oh, she's a beautiful girl. She's a great personality.
Dude. Yeah, she's really cool, and she's a grinder, man. So I'm really proud just to see where she's evolved to.
Well, wherever she wanted to go, she put herself there.
She did. She grinds, dude. Like that's just it. You can't hate on the girl. You can't do nothing on that because she's gotten to that point because of what she's done.
She figured it out.
There you go. She figured it out. She figured herself out. If you notice from before and how she is now, she's so open about everything of herself, the way she dresses and how she is.
She's so confident.
There you go, bro.
And it makes people...
She figured herself out.
It's like, oh, she's comfortable with herself, so I'm comfortable with you too. I like what you have to say.
Right. If you could figure yourself out, who you are and everything, then like so many opportunities things are gonna evolve and change. And 100%. She's a great example. Look at her. If you just go and do the research from that Cypher effect, which is probably one of the big key things that her and Vel and Gab that really opened the door
blew
for them
up.
From
that's
that
how I found
point,
out about that. That's how I found out about.
Look at that.
Yeah.
To where she is now. If you look back at everything, you see the growth. You see how she's developed to.
She's matured and she's picked up her style. And then you even see her when she did the whole the team backpack cipher.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever seen her chop or on a beat like that. I think she even did an interview where she was saying that.
And now she's developing different as far as her music.
She could be a chameleon. She can get on any beat.
She can do. She can harmonize and sing. She's doing a lot of cool stuff. And that's what I'm talking about. Like you have to evolve, and that's why a lot of these other artists they're at where they're at, and they're very bitter. Because they haven't figured out what's the next move for themselves.
Stop being bitter.
Exactly.
Okay? Go listen to some fucking Tekashi 6ix9ine. Go listen to some fucking Reverie. Take some shrooms and open
the door. You like Joe Rogan. You ever heard that one thing where he took the DT?
DMT?
The DMT, yeah. Have you heard that? And he just like talk about when he took it, he says, oh my God, and then I started seeing this and seeing that.
Yeah.
It was fucking hilarious.
It was a glowing angel. It was a glowing Buddha. That
was one of the best things I ever heard of him do, like when like podcast stuff and shit, dude. It's fucking hilarious.
I love Joey Diaz. We talked about like he took a shit outside of someone's backyard and then they were all scared because I thought a bear did it. So like it was just like I love just listening to podcasts and just laughing.
It's just a different vibe.
It takes me away from everything.
Yeah,
I love comedy.
Vibe. The people, you don't have a camera in front of you, so you don't have to worry about like positioning yourself and looking your certain way or anything. It's just you. Like what we're doing here is just us. It's just about what we're talking about, what we're doing, and we're not trying to put a little facade or anything. It's a conversation.
This is like if me and you, if we didn't have these mics, we would have had the same. We were actually having a conversation.
We were having this conversation.
I had to stop you. I was like, hold on.
Before anything,
let's go. I was like, you want to talk about it? He's like, yeah. I was like, well, let's just fucking jump into it. So
that's what's cool about podcasting, man. This is what's really dope, and I love podcasting, man. And it's just cool, dude. It's just awesome. It's a whole different ball game, man. So which is cool, but. Yeah, man, Sound Dip is one thing that I'm doing, and I'm going to sit down with different types of business entrepreneurs and stuff from all different avenues. The ideas, hustlers, what they're doing, what they don't like, and everything, and it's a cool thing. I want to get it to a point where I'm going to be like, I'm going to sit down with so-and-so, send me your questions.
Right.
Because people are going to have curiosity with stuff. So like with Reverie, for sure, I'm going to promote that and just be like, hey, what would you want me to ask Reverie? And then I will do a segment in there and stuff.
Oh, gang of people, all right, shit.
Oh, dude, yeah, so it's going to be hard to really pick some shit.
Yeah, she's
so, like, yeah, that's what I want to do with that. So there's a lot of cool things that I'm in the works with, but, you know, it's right now, you know, I'm really happy, and this is really cool, and it's just awesome of all the cool different people I get to meet, and I just trying to share, man, you know, that's all I'm trying to do is to document and just share. You know, that's it. I mean, you've done a great job till here, and it's still going strong. You know, I mean, I'm still hearing about the you know, I think you've posted a trailer, right, of one of your short films. Or yeah.
I remember seeing that, and I was like, oh shit, okay, like I was glad to see that you were still going, because there's a lot of people that just stop and it becomes too much and they don't ever keep going because they don't know what to do. But when you're a pusher and this is what you're supposed to do, it's just it just happens. You love it. It's your hobby, and then it turns into something dope, and you're just like, well, fuck, I guess I'm dope. I gotta turn this into some fucking dope shit, because you knew where I'm looking at right now. This is a nice place, bro. Like, this is not just it was a nice building, and I couldn't even open the door. He had to come open it for me. Went in an elevator. You feel me? Some people just came and cleaned the fucking trash can. They have cleaners coming in here. This is legit, dude. So this was. I'm glad to see this. I'm glad that everything is going good.
Where I'm at here, like, not only my passion of what I love doing as far as, like, photography and video and stuff, the film stuff, but what really brought me here was hip-hop brought me right here, bro. And that's where people don't understand. It's like, it's not about music, yo. When you're talking about hip-hop, yeah, it's a culture. It's a way of life. And this is where hip-hop got me to here, because my passion and the love of not just the music, but just the people involved that made that industry or this culture go circle, what we call hip-hop, that's got me to where I'm at right here, bro.
That's crazy, because the guy Punch, who runs TDE, used to be a rapper, and I think he's probably still raps, but he's running the whole TDE. He found he got J-Rock, Schoolboy Q, Kendrick Lamar, all that shit, and he figured it out. He was like, you know what? Like, I can keep rapping and try to do this, or I can put my homies on, because I have the connects. I have this. I probably have someone who has a bag. I probably got, like, I'm going to do this. And he did it, and it's one of the best shit you'll ever see. Or, like, even dudes like Drake, that guy 40 who makes the beats and engineers his whole shit. He probably try to rap too. And he's probably like, you know what? Exactly. Like, I do better. Like, Drake, I fucking think you're sick. I'm going to engineer your shit and put you on.
And that's what people, you know, tend to forget, man. It's just not really just the music and stuff. It's just the way of life. It's the people around, bro. Like,
you're finding your calling.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that, like, I can actually say, like, hip-hop changed my life, dude, because it did. And it still continues to do so, because I'm still involved in some sort of way, whatever it may be. But you know, it's just like hip-hop changed my life, man. It got me to where I'm at right now, so.
Hell yeah, man. We got almost a 2-hour conversation in.
Oh, crazy.
No, it's beautiful. Like, I start congratulating myself. Like, yes, I'm getting there. I'm finally able to have a good conversation. This was a really good conversation. I think,
cool, yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to get questions answered. Like, I think just even knowing who you are and where you're from, and just hearing the story, or even if someone doesn't know, it's a good story. Yeah, man, thank you for
I appreciate you just coming through over here, man, and just, you know, just doing this, man. It's cool, dude.
I was interested, man. I only talk to people I'm interested with, and I would like to have you on again, and we'll come and talk about some current events or whatever it is you want to do,
whatever, man. Yeah, whatever's cool and shit. We should do something where we're like going to eat some tacos or some shit.
Let's do. It's portable. It has batteries. I can take it anywhere,
man. We can go anywhere with that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we can fucking go on a drive somewhere.
In that Sound Dip show that I want to do, like I want to talk to people that are into fashion and that are established. But what I want to do is I want to go shopping with them.
Wow.
You feel me?
Yes.
So that's what I want to do, things like that. Like, so when I keep bringing up Red because that's what I'm working on. Like with her, I'm thinking like I want to go somewhere like in Highland Park or something like that. Maybe one of the spots she likes to go chill at or whatever, and that's where we're going to film it. Like maybe we'll go have a beer, then we'll go somewhere else. That's what I want to do. I want to take you into these people's environments and to have a great conversation and stuff like that.
And also, like, make them feel comfortable. Like, there's a show Hot Ones, where they're eating they bring people on and they give them hot wings.
Yeah, I saw a couple. I saw one with Natalie Portman and all that stuff. Right? They're like in this black room and stuff.
Yeah, and they're eating
they have
wings.
and
then it's like they ask the questions, but it kind of breaks them down because you see them like, you see someone like DJ Khaled, like, yeah, then all of a sudden he's eating wings and he's getting too hot. He's like, man, it's like, I've never seen DJ Khaled like this. You're bringing something out of somebody that, cool. you know, or like Bobby Lee, he's just like fucking wanting to throw up and he's like, man, fuck you. He's going crazy. It's just like, dang, this is fucking tight. Like,
it's
this is
dope because there's like levels of the wings and shit of the sauce.
It's that, and you'll never see that person ever like that in that light again.
No, because you're asking a question and you're having this conversation with them, but they're eating something, then they're getting hot, and it's just it changes the delivery of them. It's like it really kind of like
it
breaks down that wall.
Yes, it makes them turn in. It
Genius.
just brings them to themselves. Yeah.
It's genius who fucking never thought of that concept. Dude.
I think it was the dude, that white boy who's right. I think
it's him, right? Yeah, just fucking genius, dude. I love watching some of those episodes, dude. I've been seeing some of those things.
I watched that. I watched a lot of Vice. I mean,
Vice is crazy too. Yeah. Even how Vice started before, they used to be like they would collect content. Like I remember watching them on, I don't know what channel it was, on DirecTV. This was years ago. And there was a Bookworm. I don't know, Bookworm Brown. It's an old friend of mine.
A rapper.
Yeah. He used to submit stuff on it. He did one about the Virgin Mary Wall over in East Los and talked about the what was so important.
And he got it on there?
Yeah. They were just getting people's content. And then you had to abide by rules, like you couldn't have logos on people's shirts, and there were certain things you had to go by. But if it was good, then it's cool. And they also gave assignments out. And that's how they did it. Now look at them, bro. Now look at them, dude.
They're killing it, or like something like World Star and shit like that. That's crazy.
It's crazy. There's so many different avenues out there that are available for people so you can put content out. It's just a matter of like what content you're putting out and get creative.
And doing it.
And
just showing up and doing it. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing with this shit. I just bought it.
But you're doing it.
Showing up and I'm just doing it.
You're doing it, and that's all it takes, man. It's just to do it. Like, you know what I mean? You can't bag a chick. You're not gonna go up there and just fucking talk to her.
Right. That's been since the Ice Age. You're not gonna be able to eat it. You're not gonna be able to eat a fucking antelope if you don't chase it.
If you don't chase it, then it ain't gonna happen. It's just that simple.
Man, well, we're gonna end it on that, and go check out, find them on where, Twitter,
WackoeFilms.com, and you just type in Wackoe Films on social media. Type in Wackoe, Wackoe, and you find everything on me. You can Google me. I'm Googleable, so you can find all the shit on me.
Googleable. That's a good word. Googleable.
Yeah, I've been using it a couple years already.
Nice. That was Googleable.
I'm Googleable, man. So just type it in, and then everything will pop up.
Well, there it is, man. Thank you for
Thank you, bro.
coming through. And this is the Time GAWDCAST. Time.